advantage that wires how your child sees themselves for the rest of their life. It happens before kindergarten, and it's completely in your hands. It's called the Matthew effect. Essentially, the rich get richer. Early readers read more, they get better, and they pull further ahead. Better outcomes, higher income, and more life options. Non-readers, on the other hand, they avoid it all, and they fall further behind. And by third grade, the gap is almost impossible to close. It compounds exactly like money in the S&P. And you're probably caught between two voices right now. One that says, don't push academics, focus on play. And the other voice says, your kid needs to be reading by kindergarten. And you feel guilty no matter what you choose. But here's what no one's telling you. Teaching your child is connection. It's not academics versus presence. It's both. And the false choice is costing your child years. This isn't about pressure. It's about prevention. I'm a licensed educator. I've spent years in the classroom and years outside the classroom working with kids. I've raised one advanced reader, and I'm currently teaching my 2-year-old to read. And in this video, I'm going to be walking you 3 powerful examples why starting before 5 doesn't just help your child read. It compounds, it cascades, and it changes everything. So stay with me. Let's debunk this. Everything you've heard about building foundations before 5, I agree. Serve and return matters, responsive interaction matters, play matters, emotional safety matters. All of that matters, but here's what's missing. You don't have to choose. The parents online saying, don't teach academics, just play. They're creating a false choice. They're implying that teaching your child to read is instead of connection, that it's pressure, that it's at odds with play and presence. It's not. When you sit down with your child for a few minutes and teach them a letter sound and blending, you're doing serve and return. You're building emotional safety. You're showing them that they matter enough for you to show up. You're present and you're calm. And if you want to see exactly what that looks like, I have a video on my channel, and it's super realistic and it's not perfect, and it's just me and my 2-year-old. That's not academics. That's presence. My son's reading ability didn't come from pressure. It came from consistency. 10 to 15 minutes broken apart throughout the day, every day. Sometimes while we made breakfast, sometimes before bed, sometimes in the car. The when didn't matter, the showing up did. And here's what happened alongside that. We bonded. He learned that I prioritize learning. He learned that reading is something that we do together, that learning is something we value. That's not pressure, that's presence. And presence compounds. Reason number 2, the Matthew effect. You might recognize this name from the Bible. For whoever has will be given more. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. In the 1980s, a researcher named Keith Stanovich borrowed that idea and applied it to reading. He called it the Matthew effect. Early readers spiral up. They read more, it gets fun, they get better, and they want to read more. It becomes self-reinforcing. Non-readers, on the other hand, they spiral down. Reading feels hard, so they avoid it. They avoid it, so they fall further behind. By 3rd or 4th grade, that gap is almost impossible to close. This isn't theory. This is documented. Researchers in Scotland studied 300 children over 7 years. One group learned synthetic phonics, which is sounds and blending, 20 minutes a day for 16 weeks. By year 1, they were 7 months ahead. But here's the cool part. By year 7, the gains had increased 6-fold. 7 months ahead became 3.5 years ahead. Compounding for 7 years plus. 3, the cascade. Here's what no one talks about. When a child sees themselves as a reader, everything ripples. My son isn't just good at reading. He's confident. He volunteers in class. He's not afraid to try new things. He speaks clearly. He has a strong vocabulary. He's a strong communicator. And a strong vocabulary comes from strong readers. So it's really important, especially in the age of AI. He learned early that he could learn, that he could figure things out, that his brain works. I've spent over 20 years working with children inside and outside the classroom. And let me tell you something. I've watched this pattern over and over again repeat. The kids whose parents showed up early, who invested in their child's literacy from the beginning, those became the kids who could do everything. Not because they were smarter, but because they believed they were capable. The confidence ripples. It affects how they talk to other kids, how they approach new subjects, how they handle failure, whether they raise their hand or not, whether they even try. It becomes who they are. Here's the reality. You have two choices. You can listen to the voices telling you not to push academics and hope it works out, or you can show up for your kid 10 to 15 minutes a day and watch your child enter kindergarten confident, capable, and already learning. The Matthew effect is real. The compounding is real. And your child's future depends on which spiral they enter. So the next question is, and I always get this, how do I actually teach my toddler or preschooler to read? And I'm currently putting together the complete early reader blueprint, the same method that I used with my son and now my daughter. Keep an eye out for it. See you next time.